So you want to build bigger, stronger legs, so you do what most people do. You squat. The only problem is, for you, it hurts. Either your back, your hips, or your knees. Well, the good thing is you can still build bigger legs. You're not going to have to do this exercise. I'm going to show you some alternatives, and the fact is, those alternatives will actually go a long way to correcting the very same things that are preventing you from squatting pain-free right now. Now let's be clear here. When I say that you don't have to squat, I'm not talking about avoiding the squat pattern. Because let's face it, even going to the bathroom every day requires you to still be able to do the squat pattern. But what I'm saying is you need to do the appropriate squat for you and your body. And that's where a lot of people screw up. If you can't do a 135-pound squat right now, then this is where you need to start. And this is a dumbbell drop squat. And the reason for this is because this will mechanically fix your squat. And a lot of times the pain that you feel in your back or your knees are coming from the fact that you don't have good mechanics on the squat. If you turn to the side here, you can see that by just holding the dumbbell and letting it drop straight down to the floor, it actually pulls you into the proper position for the squat. So if you're getting low back pain because you're leaning too far forward, or if you're getting knee pain because you're allowing your knees to go too far forward, this will actually give you the perfect amount of hip and knee flexion and solve a lot of your issues just by simply starting with something that's more fit for you. But that version is not for everybody because not everybody squats less than 135 pounds. If you squat more and you need to have more weight, well, what you do is you split the dumbbells up, one in each hand, and you perform a split squat. Now, you have to get the setup right because this is where it all goes wrong. Too many times I see people do the split squat, and when they go down, they look fine. When they come up, they push back and away. You don't want to push back and away from that front leg. You need to stay vertical over the top of that leg. So what you want to do to establish the right depth of this leg is start in the vertical position on that leg, and then start to reach back with the other foot. You have to go to the point where you avoid any of this knee bend. If you've bent your knee, you've gone too far with this back leg. You need to, again, be able to stay in that vertical leg position, leg straight, reach back as far as you can. Okay, right about there, he's still in that spot. If you were to go any further, that front knee would bend. This is where you want to be. You bend down, you grab your dumbbells, and now what you do is you keep your chest up and proud. You go straight down just like you did on the drop squat, and you come straight up out of there. You can see that that quad is doing the work all the way up to the top. It's not being bailed out by moving your body backwards. Again, more weight can be handled here. The posture is almost automatically corrected. And for those looking for that next step in the progression, this is where you'd be. But now it's time to get serious because now we move on to one of the most hated exercises in the gym, but one of the most productive, and it's the Bulgarian split squat. The reason why people hate it is because it still can cause some knee issues if you set up incorrectly. Here's the hack to make sure you do this right every single time. All you have to do is extend one leg out until your heel hits the ground and your knee is straight. At that point, that is going to be the foot placement. You reach your dumbbells forward and put them to the outsides of your foot. All right, now all you do is keep that foot right where it is and stand up. From there, you put this foot back on the bench, you roll your foot over a little bit so you have more contact area and surface area for balance, and you are good to go. Now, what's great about this exercise, go ahead, Jesse, is once again, it puts you in that exact position biomechanically. You don't have to worry about how to do the exercise. You just have to do it. And yeah, it's challenging because we're moving now 75% of the load to that front leg. So I mentioned starting to kind of transition you into more of these single leg activities. This is one of the ways that we do it. Now, you do have the back leg helping you out here, so it's not a full single leg movement, which we'll get to, but this is an amazing way to strengthen and yes, build big legs, one leg at a time, doing the Bulgarian split squat. But ultimately, what's most important here is that you maintain those pain-free knees, hips, and back, but you still gotta move, right? If I can get you to move around like I can on a reverse lunge, well, then I'm taking a real step, no pun intended, in the right direction. So how do we do this? You gotta get this right too in terms of how you set up. When you do the reverse lunge, you don't step straight back in line with one foot in front of the other because that's gonna create a balance exercise, and really what we're looking to do is create a strength and muscle building exercise. So what you wanna do is when you step back and out so you can widen your feet. And when you do that, you have a lot more support, and balance isn't the limiting factor here. The second thing is, as you go down, get a little bit of a twist of the torso over the front leg. What that will do is kind of almost screw you into position, right? Lock you in stability-wise to do the exercise properly. And what again is happening here is you're getting all the biomechanics right because you set up right. And when you set up right, a lot of times those things that were nagging before, the back, the hips, and the knees are all fixed because you're doing it with proper positioning. This is an amazing exercise that you can load up really, really heavy and build some pretty damn big legs, but you have to do it right. Now you can. But now if you really want to build big legs and overload them without having to load your body excessively, well, this is what you want to do next. This is a single leg squat. And what you do is either get a bench or a box that will allow you to actually drop your leg down below the level of it so you can get into a deeper squat. Why is this so great? Well, first let's look at it. What you do is you basically come down like this, try to get down towards parallel, and you come straight up. This is not a pistol squat. The leg is not out here in front. If anything, it's out here to the side, right? And you come up out of that hole just like that. Jess is doing a good job. But here's where it gets interesting. You actually can load up excessively well with this single leg variation because of how the body treats this load. Did you know that a 2x bodyweight squat, so Jesse weighing 165 pounds, would be a 330 pound squat? You can recreate that in this single leg environment by simply having half of his body weight in his hands. So if you took a dumbbell and you actually goblet squatted it here, if this was an 80-pound dumbbell, then what you're getting here is the equivalent of a 330-pound squat in terms of what it feels like on that single leg. So you don't have to have all that load coming down here on his back or your hips or your knees. In this case, you can utilize these loads. Here's where it gets even more interesting. A 3x bodyweight squat. So 3 times your body weight would be 490 pounds, I think?
Something like that.
That would be recreated here if you could somehow load your body with your own body weight. Oh. So 165 pounds that Jesse weighs, plus another 165 pounds, either in the form of a weighted vest, a goblet squat dumbbell in your hand, chains, anything, combining it all to get to that system weight of your own total body weight. By the way, that's not easy, but you can see how you can take away a lot of the load and also at the same time not have to compromise on the overload that's going to grow those legs of yours. But now what if when you're doing those exercises, your knee's rocking all over the place and you can't keep it stable?
What if, Jeff, you're gonna draw me like one of your French girls?
What if you listen to the rest of the video like everybody else?
Fair enough.
So what we would do is we would try to correct that, because what happens is a lot of knee pain comes from a lack of control at the hip. Remember, the knee is just in between the ankle and the hip. You need to be able to stabilize and control that joint by controlling those two places. So the way to control this hip is to strengthen it. You get down on the ground like this and you perform it in one of two variations. For the beginners, you focus on this top leg, you point the toe down into the ground out in front of you. You're gonna lift it up at the same time, bringing the leg back behind your body, still keeping the toe turned down towards the ground. This is gonna really target a muscle called the glute medius. And again, I don't care if you're a 400-pound squatter, this is still gonna be very weak if all you do is sagittal plane squatting exercises. We need to focus on building up this strength so we can have more control of that knee when you're doing any squat variation. That being said, if you want to take it another level up, then you're going to lift up off the ground. So those hands that are placed out in front of you actually assist you in lifting that bottom hip too. So while the top leg is doing its thing, the bottom leg is being lifted up and the abductors of that bottom hip are working at the same time these are. The combination of those two things together create really, really strong hips. And when you get strong hips, that back pain goes away, that knee pain goes away, and that hip pain goes away. The bottom line here, guys, is you have options to get bigger, stronger legs that don't require you to keep hammering away at the very exercise that's bothering you right now. You want to build back up to be able to do bilateral squats? By all means, you can do that. But if you want to continue to overload and progressively overload these exercises, you're going to be able to build from here too. All right, guys, I hope you found the video helpful. Make sure you click subscribe and turn your notifications so you never miss a video. If you want 2 more videos, guys, if you have back pain already, I can promise you I can fix it because it's fixed 42 million people's backs over here. And if you want to fix anterior pelvic tilt, another common condition, you can find that over here. All right, guys, make sure you remember to subscribe. I'll be back here soon. See ya.